Ever had someone say, "I'm fine," but their face told a whole different story? That split-second flicker? That's a microexpression. Your face leaking the truth before your brain can shut it down. Today, we're diving into the tiny expressions that reveal everything. Honesty, lies, love, fear, you name it. What are microexpressions? So, let's start simple. A microexpression is a super quick facial expression. Think 1/25th to 1/5 of a second. That reveals a person's true emotions. They're basically emotional typos. Your face hits a send before your brain edits the message. In fact, research by Dr. Paul Ekman, yes, the guy who inspired the TV show Lie to Me, showed that microexpressions are universal. People in vastly different cultures show the same facial expressions for basic emotions: happiness, anger, sadness, disgust, fear, surprise, and contempt. That means whether you're from New York, Nairobi, or Narnia, your face plays by the same rules. I came across the series Lie to Me by chance and devoured it. This science with the little facial twitches reminded me that in my working life, I had already intuitively paid attention to such facial movements and was able to interpret some of them. In my dreams, I would have thought that this was a science. The 7 universal micro-expressions. Let's meet the 7 dwarfs of emotion. Only these guys are more awkward and less Disney. Happiness, crow's feet, smile and cheeks lifted. Anger, brows down, eyes glaring and lips pressed. Sadness, drooping eyelids and corners of lips down. Fear, eyes wide, eyebrows raised and mouth open. Disgust, nose wrinkled and upper lip raised. Surprise, eyebrows up, mouth open and eyes wide. Contempt, one side of the mouth raised, the ultimate smirk. Contempt is the "I'm better than you" emoji in real life. We've all seen it, from bosses, teenagers, and exes. I'm no stranger to the feeling. I used to work in a company where the boss always felt superior to everyone. You made a suggestion for improvement, and after the presentation, you could see the scorn or disdain right in his face for a brief moment, even though he tried to professionally invalidate the issue or explain it away as a nullity. But how do you behave with such a person? Real-world uses of microexpression. Reading. Microexpressions aren't just cool party tricks. They're used by FBI agents, negotiators, and even airport security to spot lies or hidden emotions. One study published in Nature showed that trained observers could spot deception with up to 70% accuracy by watching for microexpressions alone. True story, a friend of mine was on a first date, and the guy said, "Yeah, I love dogs." But her microexpression radar caught a flash of disgust. Turns out he was lying, and he was a cat person. They broke up. In another story of my own, I brought cost-cutting measures and concerns about the company's financial situation to the attention of management. The management's face flashed for a moment, very briefly and barely perceptibly, an expression of annoyance and surprise. Surprise that I was able to assess the state of the company so well and was unfortunately not wrong. I knew then that the company was coming to an end. 2 years later, I was made redundant due to the poor economic situation. That's how it can go. Can you spot a microexpression? Interactive challenge. Okay, your turn. I'm going to show you 5 microexpressions. Blink and you'll miss them. Can you guess the emotion? Let's go. Drop your guesses in the comments. No cheating. And if you got 4 out of 5, you might have superpowers or just really great observation skills. Even I, who occasionally notices these movements on my face, would fail this test. Unless you're a natural, these facial movements, in a fraction of a second, need to be trained. In my case, it was probably just a good sense and pure intuition that made me see certain things. I would never call myself a face reader. And that would also be far too stressful in life. Why micro-expressions happen? So why can't we control these facial flinches? It all comes down to the limbic system, the emotional brain. Emotions hit your face before your conscious brain can hit the brakes. Unfortunately, there is a point where it is almost impossible to interpret such facial expressions. When the person uses Botox on their face. You can also see this very clearly in one episode of the series. A prosecutor loses her daughter and grieves, but her face gives nothing away. For all other faces with their natural tightening of the skin and wrinkles, the face is an open book for experts. Quote from Paul Ekman: "Emotions are automatic. You can't stop them. You can only manage the aftermath. Think of it like hitting send on an email, then realizing you left in that one line that'll definitely get you fired. Can you learn to read them? Good news. You can totally train yourself to read microexpressions. There are courses, apps, even games based on Ekman's research. I started practicing with a mirror and Netflix. Just pause during intense scenes and watch the actors' faces. Turns out Meryl Streep is a micro-expression goddess. My view of this science, and the fictional series Lie to Me Alone, has changed to the point where I find myself trying to read faces. What is the reaction to different statements, and what is the other person saying with words? Does he contradict his body with words, or does he even agree? It's a really big topic that you could probably philosophize about for hours. Cool facts and myths. You can't fake a genuine smile. The eyes always give it away. That's called a Duchenne smile. Psychopaths are worse at reading micro-expressions, which explains a lot. Lie detectors? Meh. Micro-expressions? Way more reliable if you're trained. Babies show micro-expressions at just 10 months old. Before they can talk, they leak emotion. Have fun and try it yourself. Look at the reactions on the other person's face when you say something surprising or something that concerns you emotionally. Maybe you recognize something, maybe not. Then wait for the answer, because this can also reveal a lot about the person's attitude to the topic. Just try it. So next time someone says, "I'm not mad," and you catch that flash of fury on their face, congrats. You've just spotted a micro-expression. Welcome to the club. If you found this cool, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what emotion do you struggle to hide? I'm a disgust leaker personally. Thanks for watching. Stay curious and keep your eyes open. Literally.